It all started over a fence. Karen Wellmore, the self-proclaimed queen of the block, had long been a thorn in everyone's side in the Ridgewater Pines neighborhood. President of the HOA for 5 consecutive years, she wielded her clipboard like a sword and dished out violation notices like Halloween candy. Her main targets? Anyone who didn't conform to her narrow vision of neighborhood perfection. Unfortunately for Karen, my property didn't just violate her standards, it shattered them. Or so she thought. You see, I'm Special Agent Noah Strickland with the Department of Homeland Security. I don't flaunt my badge. My job is to keep things secure, including evidence sites, field tech installations, and undercover safe houses. That's why the lot behind my home looked a little non-standard. What Karen didn't know was that the structure she set her sights on was a federally protected site used in ongoing investigations. The complaint. It began with a note. You have 72 hours to remove the illegal structure from your property or face fines and HOA-initiated remediation. She was referring to a small cinder block building surrounded by a reinforced fence, tucked behind my house and partially obscured by trees. It wasn't flashy, no signage, no wires hanging out, just secure and discreet. I responded formally, twice. Both times I explained the building was federally designated and outside the jurisdiction of the HOA. I didn't specify what it was for, that's classified, but I cited the codes, exemptions, and security orders tied to it. Karen's response? You can't hide behind fancy words and mystery permits. This neighborhood follows rules and you're not above them. The bulldozer incident. I was in DC that week, briefing on interagency coordination protocols. While reviewing my property via remote security feeds, I noticed unusual motion alerts. I logged in and saw it, a bulldozer. Karen had hired a demolition team. They'd breached the fence and were actively tearing down the building. One worker was using a crowbar to pry open a reinforced case inside. My eyes widened. That case held encrypted devices connected to an ongoing sting involving a financial crimes cartel. I made one call to the local DHS field office. Response time, 17 minutes. The arrest. By the time I returned home, the scene was straight out of a federal training simulation. Marked DHS vehicles lined the curb. Federal agents had cordoned off the site with yellow tape. Karen stood near the wreckage, arms folded, arguing with an agent about property rights and how she had every right to clean up the neighborhood. She didn't notice me until I walked up behind her. She turned, ready to launch into another lecture. Then she saw the badge clipped to my belt. What? You work for them? No, Karen, I said calmly. I lead investigations like this. That's when the handcuffs came out. Karen was read her rights and arrested for destruction of federal property, interference with an ongoing investigation, trespassing on a secured facility, obstruction of justice. Her jaw practically hit the pavement. Fallout. Karen's arrest was just the beginning. The demolition crew, unaware of what they'd been hired to destroy, were cleared but required to cooperate in the investigation. The HOA was slapped with a federal injunction preventing them from taking unilateral actions on any property until a full review was completed. A federal statement clarified that the destroyed structure was part of an active federal operations site and its destruction compromised an ongoing investigation into cyber financial crime networks. Damages, upwards of $2.7 million. Charges, still pending. The neighborhood reaction. For years, Karen had bullied residents into repainting fences, trimming trees to HOA height, and even issuing warnings about lawn chairs being left out past sundown. But now, she was gone, and not just suspended, formally removed, federally investigated, and facing prison. Neighbors stopped by to apologize. One left banana bread on our porch. Even the nosy guy across the street, who once reported my garbage bins for being out on the wrong day, offered to mow my lawn. Lessons learned. Karen thought she ran the neighborhood. She believed a clipboard gave her power over people's homes, lives, and privacy. What she didn't realize was that sometimes quiet neighbors aren't trying to hide noncompliance. Sometimes they're protecting the very system that keeps the country running. In her crusade for control, Karen bulldozed more than just a building. She bulldozed her way into a federal arrest.